Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and even good night, everybody. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you are all doing very well and having an amazing day in general, regardless of what time it is for you. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Nautical Lariat Show, the only podcast where you can listen to me ramble about all things pop culture and pro wrestling. As always, I am your host, Mr. Braeden, also known as Batson Jones. As you can see, just like the last 2 weeks, I am in no way, shape, or form on the screen, visually speaking, other than this above averagely beautiful picture of myself. I will be keeping this audio only format for the next few months because of my filming and editing schedule. Big things are happening and I cannot wait to share everything with you guys. We just got done filming some truly incredible stuff and it was super duper fun to do so. Myself and my amazing crew are so ecstatic on showing you guys everything we have cooked up in our metaphorical kitchen, so please, as always, stay tuned. Savvy? With that being said, make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, and hit the bell notification on all my videos, posts, and more. This is a great way to stay up to date on everything Nautical Lariat and Batson Jones. It is also a great way for me to keep engagement up, which is always nice. I gotta make sure I'm pleasing that algorithm YouTube monster. The handles for YouTube and Instagram are currently on the screen now. I don't feel the need to read those out to you. Just pause the video and take a look if need be. If you'd like to support me in all my other ridiculous adventures even further, you can go on www.prowrestlingtees.com/cutthroatbatsonjones to pick up a CBJ t-shirt. They are all currently $15.99 USD, being one of the t-shirts with the lowest cost across the entire site. Okay, on with the review, Jurassic World Rebirth. Let's do a deep dive review on this brand new entry in the Jurassic Park franchise. Jurassic World Rebirth is the very first massive July blockbuster that I will be covering on this channel, and I am very excited to dissect this return to form attempt at making a good Jurassic Park film. Also, I will be doing this review spoiler free at first, and then I will be diving in and discussing spoilers at the end, so make sure you guys take a look at the time codes in the description down below. Jurassic World Rebirth is the 4th Jurassic World film and the 7th Jurassic Park film overall. It is directed by the master of size and scale itself, Gareth Edwards, who was the director of films such as 2023's The Creator, Star Wars Rogue One, and 2014's Godzilla. The film stars Scarlett Johansson as the badass Zora Bennett, Jonathan Bailey as Dr. Henry Loomis, not Dr. Loomis from the Halloween franchise. I wish that would have been a funny crossover. Mahershala Ali as everyone's favorite Captain Duncan Kincaid, Rupert Friend as the rich and sinister Martin Krebs, and Manuel Garcia Ruffalo, Adrina Miranda, Luna Blaze, and David Lucania as the stranded Delgato family. And also, I am so sorry if I butchered your names. I'm not the best at pronunciation, even though I'm an English teacher. I'm still working on it. We're all just trying to get better here. Ed Skrein, who you all probably remember from Deadpool and Game of Thrones, is also in this movie, as well as Philippine Velge and Betcher Sylvain. Man, these are some difficult names. Let's start off with the plot. Essentially, it's been several years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, everyone's favorite Jurassic Park movie. There should be crickets right now. And everyone has seemingly gotten bored of dinosaurs. This sounds like a rehashed story plot. I think that's a reoccurring theme in these movies. No one is going to zoos or museums anymore, and plus, the dinosaurs are dying. They can only survive in a hot and tropical climate along the equator. However, big dinosaurs have big hearts, which means the genetic makeup of these dinosaurs can help solve heart disease. This is why Rupert Friend enlists Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali to track down 3 big dinosaurs on the top secret Site C, where InGen originally did all their genetic gene splicing and mutation experiments. Ooh. Spooky! So yeah, so Fetch Quest. I was and still am fascinated in a neutral sort of way about the creation of Site C. I forgot if they ever mentioned exactly what the name of the island is in the movie. It might be St. Marshall Island or something like that. Please let me know down in the comments, but keep the comments spoiler free. But essentially, it's not the original island of Isla Nublar, which is the Site A, where Jurassic Park and Jurassic World took place before the volcano exploded. And it's definitely not Isla Sorna, aka Site B, where Jeff Goldblum's daughter took out a velociraptor with gymnastics, and where the original overpowered Spinosaurus lives. Yeah! I do find it interesting that InGen essentially occupied several islands off the coast of Costa Rica. One for the park, one for the breeding, and now one for mutation. In reality, it doesn't make any sense to occupy all these islands, because that just seems like a lot of different islands that could and will get taken over by dinosaurs, which is exactly what happens. It's the exact reason why all these movies exist. So, I guess it all needed to happen for the story to happen, which in a backwards sort of way means that it does make sense. But we're getting off topic here. The central plot was great. I think it was executed pretty well. I think it could have been better fleshed out, but it had to play screen time halvesies with the second plot of the film, the family. Full disclosure, I had no issue with the performances of the family. I actually think that the family actors gave some of the best performances in the entire movie. What bothers me with the family is the means in which it takes for them to enter the movie. It's stupid, it's ridiculous, and it truly comes out of left field. If you only had seen the trailers, you would have had an idea of there being more than just the Fetch Quest crew on the island, but how they introduce this extra family party is just lazy and nonsensical. Speaking of performances, Scarlett and Jonathan were great, but Mahershala Ali just stole every single scene he was in. The writing and dialogue was, though, mediocre overall. I think the screenplay was a bit rushed, and that's why a lot of the spoken exposition and the dialogue between the characters is a bit weak. But all the actors did a good enough job with what they were given. Finally, let's talk about those dinosaurs. Yeah, they were good. The effects were great. There was no issues there. Nothing seemed out of place or had Uncanny Valley vibes. I felt as if the actors were actually in natural locations, which I'm sure wasn't the case. So I think that's a job well done on the effects team. And yeah, the D-Rex. That's a nightmare. It's nightmare fuel. It's weird. It's ugly. It's straight up. It's a genetic freak, like a Big Papa Pump Scotty Steiner. But yeah, the D-Rex is a monster, and it is terrifying for about 5 minutes of the runtime that is on screen. It's not in the movie a lot. So, before I go into spoilers, let's grade this film and dive into it more and talk about the goods and the bads. I will say Jurassic World Rebirth is a solid 15 out of 20, 75%, meaning that it will go inside of Mr. Braeden's gradebook as a C. Okay, spoilers in 3, 2, 1, spoiler time. First off, bored of dinosaurs? Are y'all mad? Y'all mental, malad, crazy? In what world would anyone be bored of living, breathing dinosaurs? People still go to museums and zoos now to see animals that are currently alive, let alone a dinosaur. So my suspension of disbelief was taxed just because of this plot point. It goes along with the Indominus Rex in the original Jurassic World. Like, who would be bored enough of dinosaurs to the point of needing to make a genetic freak of a monster, let alone one that is a killing machine? It's the same thing with the Indominus Rex, it's the same thing with the Indoraptor, and it's essentially the same exact thing with the D-Rex and these flying pterodactyl raptors. Plus, why would these InGen scientists even be making a D-Rex or flying velociraptors? Both Jurassic Park and Jurassic World weren't even public parks yet at the time of making those monsters. So how did they know to make genetically mutated dinosaurs that were more amusing to the audience than the normal run-of-the-mill dinosaurs when they didn't even have an audience to begin with. The parks weren't open yet. So let me ask you all again, maybe I missed something, but why did InGen even make a D-Rex and flying murder birds? Secondly, Ed Skrein got done dirty in this. He got introduced as the head of security Bobby Atwater, the BFF of both Zora and Duncan, but as soon as the boat was under attack by the Mosasaur and the Spinosauruses, which both of these not character designs, but both of these dinosaur designs just got nerfed, Ed immediately gets eaten by a Spinosaurus. Like, there goes your head of security. See you later, Ajax. Bye-bye. I did really enjoy that Mahershala Ali's character survived. From the trailers, it seemed as if he was going to get eaten by the D-Rex, but that was not the case. Duncan Kincaid pulled a Ian Malcolm on all of us. They did do test screenings of Duncan dying, but the people chose that he shall live. I'm assuming those test screenings were sort of like in Gladiator with the thumbs up that the Emperor used to do. So if you're in those test screenings, please confirm that that's what you guys do. I will say, though, that all the stuff that took place in the water with the chasing of the Mosasaur, the boat attack, and the Spinosaurus team up, it all looked really good. It reminded me of Jaws. I hope the next Jurassic World movie has more to do with water dinosaurs, aquatic dinosaurs, similar to the Meg movies, but just better movies. I think it's very easy to say that the Jurassic Park franchise is much better than the Meg franchise. So if we kind of steal a little bit from these not so good movies and implement them into these movies, maybe we'll get a cool aquatic Jurassic Park movie. The boat attack, though. Why would a father take his 2 daughters and the oldest daughter's annoying boyfriend on a sailboat sailing across dinosaur-infested waters? Oh, only 1 out of 5,000 boats get attacked by dinosaurs out here. Dude, what? Guess what? You're the 1 out of 5,000, you absolute gobshite. Another thing worth mentioning is that Rupert Friend and Mahershala Ali's characters both stated that there's no government officials out patrolling these universally restricted zones because they're so dangerous. Yet, this dad thought it was okay to bring his kids out on these death waters. And the statistic of 1 out of 5,000 boats being in the area, yeah, that seems like a lot of boats that are sailing around universally restricted areas. So, yeah, doesn't make any sense. Moving on to the D-Rex, it's ugly, it's huge, it's like a kaiju monster out of a Godzilla movie, it's freaky looking, but it's only in the movie for maybe 8 minutes total. Plus, we never really get to see it in full light, so it's hard to really see how massive this thing is. Other than, it is big enough to eat a helicopter, and it is stealthy enough to sneak around and eat the helicopter without Jonathan Bailey realizing it, leading to a pretty decent reveal and jump scare. Also, a Snickers wrapper caused an entire laboratory to shut down and supposedly allowed the D-Rex to take over. And the only reason InGen didn't want to stop and take out these genetic freaks was because of taxes. Typical billionaires and their tax write-offs. I will say, though, that the best scene in the entire movie has nothing to do with the D-Rex and has everything to do with the T-Rex. This T-Rex scene, was taken right out of the original novel and is properly intense. The entire movie as a whole is pretty intense, but this scene with the T-Rex chasing the life raft underwater and down the river is mwah, chef's kiss. It's so good. Also, the daughter has a pet baby Triceratops. Sorry, kiddo, but that dinosaur is probably gonna die as soon as you go back to New York City. There's a reason they only survive near the equator. So this is just one of those several plot holes in the film and I've already mentioned plenty before. But to be fair, these creature feature films, and this one in particular, is just a don't question the logic sort of flick. It's a popcorn movie. It's not to be taken seriously, but when you throw guidelines down in your movie and then you go against your own guidelines, it shows me that the writers didn't really pay attention to the logic of their own script, which seems very lazy to me. Lastly, the Weekly Planet boys, James and Meso, over in Australia, they brought up this great idea, and I thought it was an interesting idea to explore. The original Jurassic Park was compelling, whether or not the dinosaurs were on screen. This is what they said. So, meaning that the dialogue between the characters was good. The characters were good, and everything about the film was good. And now, ever since the original, every single sequel has struggled with creating compelling characters, dialogue, and plots. I will say, some of the movies have had great moments in my opinion, and even some great ideas, but every movie just either feels like a meh monster film, which to me is a fun monster film too, most of the time, or a rehash of the original, which is lazy. So yeah, the James and Meso were pretty much just saying, ever since the first Jurassic Park film, that was it was a hat trick. Everything was good. The monsters were good. The dialogue was good. The characters were good. Everything was compelling. And now, every single movie has struggled. And I do agree with that. Obviously, I paraphrased, and I was putting in my own ideas into that quote as well. But yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think every single movie that has come out since the original Jurassic Park has been missing that compelling human moment, other than maybe the original Jurassic World. Okay, as a whole, I will say this movie is definitely worth seeing in theaters if you're a Jurassic Park and a monster movie lover, but I wouldn't get overhyped for it like I usually do. I still really enjoyed it, despite the usual issues that all these movies always have. I will say it's probably my third favorite of all 7 films. From 1 to 7, I'd probably say Jurassic Park, Jurassic World Rebirth, so this one, Lost World, then Jurassic Park 3, then Jurassic World Dominion, and then Jurassic World Fallen Order. No one remembers that one. It's with the Indoraptor. That dinosaur sucked. So, top 3 isn't bad. I genuinely do enjoy all of these movies, and I will forever see them if there's a new one coming out, but yeah. I'm just waiting on one to completely blow me away like the first one did for so many of us. Anyways, we will be talking about Superman very soon. I just saw it, and I cannot wait to share my thoughts with all of you. And yeah, we will also be talking about the massive pro wrestling weekend that's going on with WWE Evolution, Saturday night's main event, NXT Great American Bash, and AEW All in Texas. I won't even mention all the shows going on in France this week and weekend. It seems as if every promoter and their grandmother are running shows nowadays. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Lastly, and as always, have a great day. Savvy.
Whoa, Black Betty, bam, ba-lam. Whoa, Black Betty, bam, ba-lam. Black Betty had a child.